Ndakamuona mwana uyo achitamba ega kuri nevamwe, shamwari dzaimutiza, dzimwe dzacho dzaimuseka. Asi kusanzwisisa masikirwo ake nekushayiwa ruzivo.
Persons with disabilities deserve that same chance to prove themselves, but too often only their disabilities seen at first glance. Some of the persons with physical disabilities face some challenges in finding a job.
Zvisinei neurema hwauinawo kana kuti zvisinei negender yako kuti uri munhukadzi, hazvina basa nedisability iripo pauri. Some of us tinofarira kuti vanhu vakawanda tinoita mabasa akasiyana siyana. Zvakafanana neni, inini I'm an electrician. Ndiri munhu anogona kugadzira zvinhu zvemagetsi, ndinoita masolar installations, ndinoita marepairs nedomestic installation yese yemagetsi. Saka tinokurudzirana kuti munhu zvisinei neurema hwako, disability must not give you a limit to whatever that you want to do. Saka kana uchinge waona munhu ane disability akafanana neni, usamutarisire pasi, tipewo mabasa acho usina kutarisa kuti ndiri kupa munhu akaita sei.
To support this commitment, Ford Peace Powerful Voices has conducted a sensitization workshop with some private sector companies in order for them to appreciate their skill and create a good, conducive working environment for them.
Beyond equalization of opportunities, let's also think about affirmative action so that we deliberately fish out persons' abilities who may not ordinarily, be in a position to compete on the same footing with persons without disabilities. So other than equalization, let's also think about equity so that we deliberately advance policy and ways of recruitment that would in a way fish out persons' abilities who, by the way, may also qualify in terms of other criteria that may be set. So I'm just thinking beyond equalization, let's also think equity, let's think about affirmative action. We are not saying, we are not encouraging employers to take people who are unfit for the roles that they would need to play in organizations. But let's deliberately, like what we have done with gender, at times, women have been propelled positions, not necessarily out of charity or mercy, but because they also qualify, but because of the historical marginalization that they had always faced as women, they have been, pushed, they have been deliberately targeted for senior positions, in different spaces.
Is your company has an open door policy whereby persons, your employees or those who are coming in, able to disclose that I've got a disability? What benefit is there for them to disclose their disability? What are they going to benefit from that? Because was all disclosure of we are anorwara lefari musa muipe basa rakati anorwara munhu wese akuba. Does that encourage someone to disclose their disability?
This workshop has seen many private companies appreciate the sensitization as it enlightens them with the rich skills of persons with disabilities.
In September 2024, we launched the National Business and Disability Network Forum with a view to try and encourage our members drawn from these various sectors to have buy-in terms of mainstreaming disability in employment. I want to acknowledge that there's been great progress because following the launch in September 2024, the BDN is now operational. It is being chaired by Mr. Mchuchu. And what has since happened is the BDN has come up with committees to do with advocacy, PR, training, which, as you witnessed today, were part of this conversation. And having realized that from the time when we formed them in November, we also had the benefit of having our BDN admitted in the global network based in Geneva, where we then had our flag, Zimbabwe, placed on the map. So we are part of those 14 countries who have been admitted in the global network on disability.
This network is very important in mainstreaming disability affairs, in mainstreaming disability people who are already disadvantaged into the formal employment or into formal business. So our intention is to expand the network so that we recruit more members, more companies to join the disability network. As you know, disability is not inability. There's a lot of talent out there with people affected with disability. So we need to mainstream them. We need to include them into the mainstream employment.
So the really importance of joining this network is, I think, as we know, the same thing that we did for women in terms of affirmative action is the same thing that we'd also want to do in terms of issues to do with disability, where the intention is to make sure that disability inclusion is really realized in most of our institutions. So the network is there in its inception to make sure that we recruit as much members as possible and to make sure that every private institution and every public institution really considers issues to do with disability inclusion. So what we then do as a network going forward is to make sure that all the members that would have joined and every institution or organization that is going to be part of this really great initiative is to make sure that we then sensitize all the staff, that is from your top management up to your general employees, to then say to what extent can we improve on our disability inclusion strategies, but also despite only focusing on the issues of sensitization, the major focus again is to make sure that every institution has been developed in a way, or rather come up with strategies to make sure that the environment is really accessible to people that have disability or people with disabilities.
Achitambaeka Kurinelangwe Sikusanzwisisa masikiro ake Nekushayiwa ruzivo